Hello, myself Professor Nitin Yelahire, MET Institute of Engineering, Nasik. Today I am going to take another session on elements of VHDL. That is lecture number 2, elements of VHDL. Here we have to start with basic building blocks for VHDL code or VHDL program format. There are mainly 4 blocks which are involved in the VHDL program format. First, library declaration. Second, entity. Third, architecture. And last, configuration is there. So these are the 4 basic building blocks for any VHDL code or VHDL program format. So in that, first, library declaration. So what does it mean by library declaration? So before going to start with any program, we are defining a library. What the use for that library? It is a small piece of code. It is a small piece of code which is accessed by the designer, and these small pieces of code which are written a program information. So after that, entity, that is in entity we declare whatever the digital system we are going to design. For that, whatever the input and outputs that we are defining under the block of entity. Then the architecture. It is the system behavior or the function that we have to written down in the form of architecture. So there are 4 types of modeling are there. In that, first, behavioral modeling, second structural modeling, third data flow modeling, and fourth mixed type of modeling. So these are the 4 types of modeling are there. That modeling we are going to utilize to define the functionality of the digital system or whatever the system which we are going to design it by using VHDL language. Now last, the configuration is there. The configurations, that is functions, procedures and components that we are known with these particular program. After that, here we have started with a very first block, that is library. It is a collection of compiled VHDL units. It enables sharing of compiled designs and hides the source code from the users. Commonly used functions, procedures and user data types can be compiled into a user defined library for use with all designs. Library should be declared before each entity declaration, even if it is in the same VHDL file. Library should be declared before each entity declaration, even if it is in the same VHDL file. To declare a library, that is to make it visible to the design. To declare a library, that is to make it visible to the design, 2 lines of codes are needed. In case of library, 2 lines of codes are needed, one containing name of the library, the other a use clause. The library structure can be shown as follows. Here we have drawn the diagram for library structure. This should be the library. And inside into that we are defining the package. And in that package we are defining these functions, procedures, types, constants and components. So this could be the library structure we required. After that, the syntax for the library. 2 lines of codes, one containing library name and other use clause. So here syntax for the library, that is the capital library word is there, and whatever the name should be defined for that library, that is library underscore name semicolon. Here the name is defined in green color and library is defined in black color. So library underscore name semicolon. Then use library underscore name, same name we have to use in clause, dot package underscore name dot package underscore parts. So this should be the syntax for the library. So for that we consider one example how to declare the library. So here we are declaring the library IEEE, library IEEE. So for that use clause, use IEEE same name dot package name standard underscore logic underscore 1164, then package parts all. So here the example for the syntax of library, library IEEE semicolon use IEEE dot standard underscore logic underscore 1164 dot all. Semicolon indicates the end of statement or declaration. Semicolon indicates end of statement or declaration. Then another library that is very much important, library standard semicolon, then use standard dot standard underscore logic underscore vector dot all. Third, library work and use work dot all. So these are the some examples here for library declaration. In case of VHDL programming, the double dash indicates a comment. In case of VHDL programming, the double dash indicates a comment. So these are some more libraries that which we are going to study in these particular subjects. So very first, IEEE.math_complex.all. This package defines a standard for designers to use in describing VHDL models that make use of common complex constants and common complex mathematical functions and operators. This package defines a standard for designers to use in describing VHDL models that make use of common complex constant and common complex mathematical functions and operator. Second library, IEEE.math_real.all. This package defines a standard for designers to use in describing VHDL models that make use of common real constants and common real elementary mathematical functions. Then IEEE.numeric_bit.all. This package defines numeric type and arithmetic functions for use in synthesis tool. Two numeric types are defined, unsigned and signed integer. So it represents an unsigned number in vector form and signed represents signed number in vector form. The base element type is type bit. Here bit type is there. Then IEEE.numeric_standard.all. This package defines numeric types and arithmetic function for use with synthesis tools. Again two numeric types, unsigned, unsigned represent for unsigned number in vector form, signed represent a signed number in vector form. The base element type is type standard underscore logic. So next IEEE.standard_logic_1164.all. This package defines a standard for designers to use in describing the interconnection data types used in VHDL modeling. It defines multi-value logic types. It defines multi-value logic types and related functions. Number of times in university in practical examination, the library can be asked by the examiner. IEEE standard underscore logic underscore 1164.all. So what IEEE standard underscore logic underscore 1164.all? This package defines a standard for the designers to use in describing the interconnection data types used in VHDL model. IEEE.math_complex.all. This package defines a standard for designers to use in describing VHDL models that make use of common complex constants and common complex mathematical functions and operators. IEEE.math_real.all. This package defines a standard for designers to use in describing VHDL models that make use of common real constants and common real elementary mathematical functions. Then next library, IEEE.numeric_bit.all. This package defines numeric types and arithmetic functions for use with synthesis tools. Two numeric types are defined. Unsigned represent an unsigned number in vector form. Sign represents a sign number in vector form. The base element type is type bit. These are the some more libraries: IEEE.standard_logic_arith.all, IEEE.standard_logic_miscellaneous.all. These package defines supplemental types, subtypes, constant and functions for the standard_logic_1164 package. IEEE.standard_logic_sign.all. These package defines a set of sign arithmetic conversion and comparison functions for standard_logic_vector. Then IEEE.standard_logic_text.io.all. These package overloads the standard text IO procedures for read and write functions. Then last, IEEE.standard_logic_unsigned.all. These package defines a set of unsigned arithmetic conversion and comparison functions for standard_logic_vector. Now the next block, entity. It is the second block for the VHDL program format. Entity. It is the design's interface to the external circuitry. Equivalent to pinout or package of an IC. VHDL design must include one and only one entity per module. VHDL design must include one and only one entity per module. It can be used as a component in other entities after being compiled into a library. It can be used as a component in other entities after being compiled into a library. Then entity declaration. It defines the input and output ports of the design. It defines the input and output ports of the design. Means IO we can declare over here. Name of the entity can be anything other than the reserved VHDL word. Whatever the name you are going to assign for the entity, that is anything but other than the reserved VHDL word or keyword. Each port in the port list must be allotted. Whatever the ports in the digital system design, all port list must be allotted. In that, a name. It should be a self-explanatory that provides the information about its functionality. Then second, data flow, direction or mode. Means whether it is input mode, whether it is output mode, whether it is in-out mode or whether it is buffer. Then last, a type. Whether it is standard_logic, whether it is standard_logic_vector, whether it is bit type, whether it is bus, that you are going to define over there. Ports should be well documented with comments at the end of line providing additional information about the signal. Ports should be well documented with comments at the end of line providing additional information about the signal. Then syntax for the entity. Entity underscore name is port, then opening bracket, port underscore name, colon, signal underscore mode, signal underscore type, then semicolon. Then port underscore name, colon, signal underscore mode, signal underscore type, then semicolon. In this way, whatever the IOs in case of digital system, that all IOs we are defining in the same manner. Port name, then colon, then signal underscore mode, and then signal underscore type. Then end entity underscore name. Whatever the name we are assigning for that entity, same name we are ending that entity. So this should be the entity syntax. So always keep in mind the syntax for entity. Modes. Ports in the port list have modes which indicate the driver direction. Ports in the port list have modes which indicate the driver direction. Mode also indicate whether or not the port can be read from within the entity. Modes also indicate whether or not the port can be read from within the entity. 4 modes are available: mode in, mode out, mode in out, and mode buffer. These are the 4 modes. In that first mode, mode in, it can be read from but not assigned to by the entity. Means value can be read from but not assigned to by the entity. Here we have shown the input mode structure. So here is the entity. For that we have assigned the signal, port signal A. Driver, whatever the driver is there, that driver reside outside the entity. And the syntax for that mode in, port opening bracket A colon in standard underscore logic. So likewise the syntax for input mode. Then mode out, value can be assigned to but not read from by the entity. Value can be assigned to but not read from by the entity. Here again the structure for out mode. Here drivers reside inside the entity. Port signal B is defined. So syntax for that, port opening bracket B colon out standard underscore logic bracket close semicolon. Then third, mode in out. In out means it is a bidirectional. Value can be assigned to as well as read from by the entity. So here the structure for that, drivers reside both inside and outside the entity, and signal is C signal is defined. So syntax for that, port C in out standard underscore logic semicolon. In this way we have defined the syntax for in out mode. Then mode buffer, output port with internal read capability. Output port with internal read capability. Driver reside inside the entity. Here in the structure, driver reside inside the entity, but it is internal read capability. Output port is there, but internal reading capability. Syntax for that, port D buffer standard underscore logic. Signal can be read inside the entity. But one thing you have to remember, always be, do not use unless required. Here do not use unless it is required. Means whether there is necessity for buffer, then and then you are going to utilize the buffer, otherwise simply in, out or in out. Then one more example for entity, how to write down the entity. Entity example is there. Here we are going to consider the AND gate IC. AND gate IC is there, that is 14 pin IC is there, 2 pins for VCC and ground, remaining all 12 pins are required for quad AND gate. So quad AND gate means here 4 AND gate inside into the particular IC. So 2 pins should be required as an input. 1A and 1B is the input and 1Y is the output. This is the first group of AND gate. Then second group, 2A is the input, 2B is the input and 2Y is the output. Likewise here 4A and 4B is another AND gate input and 4Y is the output, and another output is there. 3A 3B is the input and 3Y is the output. So such a 4 gate are there. So because of that it should be called it as quad 2 input AND gate IC is there. So for that we have written down the entity. So entity and underscore gate is port 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A in standard underscore logic, means A pair, 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B in standard underscore logic. That is, these are the 8 input pins we are defining, then ended with colon, semicolon. Then output is defined 1Y, 2Y, 3Y, 4Y, colon, out standard underscore logic, then bracket closing and semicolon. Here one thing you have to always remember, at the last port defining we always complete the bracket and then write down the semicolon. Sometimes students have been misplaced colon first and then bracket, so it may produce the error. So end and underscore get then semicolon. In this way we have to write down the entity for AND gate IC. Then another example for entity, here ALU is defined, 4-bit input output are there, 4-bit one input is there, another 4-bit input is there and 4-bit output is there. Here is the ALU is there, carry input is considered, carry output is considered, one more mode bit is considered and equal bit is considered. So this is the one of the diagram for ALU. So here entity ALU is port in 1 colon in standard underscore logic underscore vector 3 down to 0. Here 4-bit of operation is there, so because of that we have written down the vector 3 down to 0, means A0, A1, A2, A3, these are the 4-bit of information. And second operand in 2, here colon is there, in standard underscore logic underscore vector 3 down to 0, second operand, again it is B0, B1, B2, B3, 4-bit of operation. Then select input is there, 3 down to 0, then carry input in standard underscore logic, again it is bit, mode in standard underscore logic, again it is bit, result out standard underscore logic underscore vector, 3 down to 0 means again the result of information is 4 bit, so that is R0, R1, R2, R3. So out standard underscore logic, again it is bit, equal out standard underscore logic, it is again bit of information. So end ALU and semicolon. In this way we have written down the entity for anything. So these are the two examples. Here we are taken care into the considerations for to define the entity. Now we are moving towards a next topic that is very much important in case of VHDL programming, that is architecture. Basically, what architecture? It specifies behavior, function and relationship between input and outputs of an entity. What architecture? It specifies the behavior, function and relationship between input and output of an entity. So syntax for the architecture. Architecture underscore name of entity underscore name is whatever the entity name that we are defining in green color, whatever the architecture name that we are defining in red color. So here is the architecture name is there, and end architecture with again same name. So after the architecture name of entity underscore name is, then declaration part is there. Suppose we are declaring any signal, so for that here we are declaring after the architecture. It is optional thing is there. One thing you have to remember, it is optional one, not necessary. Whether there is necessity, then and then we are defining the somewhat signals. In case of structural modeling, we are always been declaring that particular signals. Then begin and then write down code. Whatever the concurrent statements that we are defining in terms of code. Concurrent statements only. Concurrent means the parallel programming. So end architecture underscore name semicolon. In this way the architecture syntax. So always we keep one term in your mind, architecture syntax. Everyone got it? Architecture, it specifies behavior, function and relationship between IOs. Architecture, it can contain only concurrent statement. Concurrent means parallel statements, concurrent statements. A design can be described in an architecture using various levels of abstraction. A design can be described in a various levels of abstraction. An entity can have more than one architecture. An entity can have more than one architecture since a function can be implemented in a number of ways. Since a function can be implemented in a number of ways. There can be no architecture without an entity. There can be no architecture without an entity. Here, architectural bodies. First architecture we have considered behavioral modeling. Behavioral, what it is? It is the high level description. It is the high level description. Always remember, it is the high level description. It contains a set of assignment statements to represent the behavior. It contains a set of assignment statements to represent the behavior. No need to focus. No need to focus on the gate level implementation of a design. No need to focus on the gate level implementation of the design. Example, architecture, behavior of and underscore gate is. Name whatever you are going to decide, but it is not a keyword. So architecture, behave of and underscore gate is. And underscore gate is entity name. Then begin. Here no declaration, signal declarations, because it is optional part. So directly we have begin. After begin we have write down the concurrent statement. So here we declare first process. Process A comma B. Here for AND gate we have write down the architecture. So if A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, then and then only C is equal to 1. If my A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, then C is less than or equal to 1. It is assignment operator. So because of that we have written down in this fashion. C is less than or equal to 1. If my both input are high, then my output is high. Else C is less than or equal to 0. See again one thing. If any one input is 0, my output is 0. And if, because here we are opening if, so first we are closing the if, and if Here process is there, so that process we are closing. End process, here architecture, so end behave, name of that architecture. So in this way we are defining the architectural bodies in case of behavioral modeling. So everyone can get the idea about that, how to declare the architecture in case of behavioral modeling. So here is the example we are trying to consider, and everyone should get the idea how to define the architecture. Then second type of modeling, that is data flow modeling. It uses the concurrent signal assignment statement. It uses the concurrent signal assignment statement. Example, architecture data flow of and underscore get is. Example, architecture data flow of and underscore get is. Begin, C is less than or equal to A and B. Here directly we are defining the function C is less than or equal to A and B. That is the concurrent signal assignment. And data flow, it is very much simple. Architecture data flow of and underscore get is. Begin, C is less than or equal to A and B. Assignment operator, C is assigned to A and B. And data flow. Then the structural type of modeling. What the structural type of modeling? It defines the components from libraries are connected together. It defines the component from libraries are connected together. Designs are hierarchical. Designs are hierarchical means step by step tree are there. Each component can be individually simulated. Each component can be individually simulated. It is a structural type of modeling, so each component can be individually simulated. It makes use of component instantiation. It makes use of component instantiation. So here component instantiation should be there. Define each and every component. Here we are considering one more example, that is full adder. Here we are considering one example, that is full adder. So here 2 half adder, by using 2 half adder we are defining the full adder concept. These are the 2 half adder. They are having input A, B and carry input. First half adder output and carry input is again added with half adder, and then finally we are getting the sum result. Then again by adding 2 half adder with the OR gate, here we are getting the carry output. So full adder having 3 input and 2 output. 3 input A, B and carry input, and output is sum and carry. Here the half adder, each half adder is made up of from XOR gate and AND gate. Here 2 XOR gate and AND gate and one more OR gate, and then we have formed the complete full adder circuitry is there. So this is the structural type of modeling is there. These are the ways to describe a circuit. So these are the 3 types of descriptions possible with the VHDL. First structural, second data flow, and third behavioral. All the 3 types of modeling are there, and last one more is there, that is mixed type of modeling is there. Sometimes we are going to utilize this mixed type of modeling, means whether whatever 2 should be having in a combination, either structural data flow, either data flow behavioral. In this way 4th type of modeling we are going to study, that is mixed type of modeling. Okay, got it? Now next, here we have to know that what the structural method. At the structural level, which is the lowest level, you have to first manually design the circuit. Use VHDL to specify the components and gates that are needed by the circuit and how they are connected together by following your circuit exactly. Synthesizing a structural VHDL description of a circuit will produce a netlist that is exactly like your original circuit. The advantage of working at the structural level is that you have full control as to what components are used and how they are connected. The advantage of working at the structural level is that how you have full control as to what components are used and how they are connected. But you need to first come up with the circuit, and so the full capabilities of the synthesizer are not utilized. In the structural method, which is the lowest level, you have to first manually design the circuit. Use VHDL to specify the components and gates that are needed by the circuit and how they are connected together by following your circuit exactly. Synthesizing a structural VHDL description of a circuit will produce a netlist that is exactly like your original circuit. The advantage of working at the structural level is that you have full control as to what components are used and how they are connected. Data flow method. At the data flow level, you use the built-in logic functions. Data flow, you use the built-in logical functions of VHDL in signal assignment statements to describe a circuit, which again you have to first design manually. In data flow level, you use the built-in logical functions VHDL in signal assignment statements to describe a circuit, which again you have to first design manually. Boolean functions that describe a circuit can be easily converted to signal assignment statements using the built-in logical functions. The only drawback is that the built-in logical functions such as the and or functions only take 2 operands. This is like having only 2 input gates to work with. The only drawback is that the built-in logical functions such as the and or functions only take 2 operands. This is like having only 2 input gates to work with. All the statements used in the structural and data flow level are executed concurrently. All the statements used in the structural and data flow modeling are executed concurrently. Then next type of modeling, behavioral method. It describing a circuit at the behavioral level is most similar to writing a computer program. It describing a circuit at the behavioral level is the most similar to writing a computer program. You have all the standard high-level programming constructs such as the for loop, while loop, if then else, case and variable assignment. The statements are enclosed in a process block and are executed sequentially. The statements are enclosed in a process block and that are executed sequentially. In case of behavior, you have all the standard high-level programming constructs such as the for loop, while loop, if then else, case. Here we are trying to consider one more example to study the architecture. So here we are taken one example, BCD to 7 segment display decoder. Here BCD to 7 segment display decoder, 4 input are there and 7 output are there. That is segment A to segment G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are the 7 segments. That is from segment 0 to segment 6. Segment 6 is the name given to the segment A. Segment 0 is the name given to the segment G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are so I0, I1, I2, I3. These are the 4 inputs and 7 outputs. So 4 line to 7 line decoder driver IC is there. Here for that we are going to draw the truth table. 4 inputs I0, I1, I2, I3. Decimal digits, that is we are counting the 7 segment display, that is from 0 to 9 value. So these are the decimal digits. How the value should be displayed in this manner: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And output, 7 segment is the output pins, segment A, B, C, D, E, F and G. So when 0 is displayed, all the segments are on except segment G. So because of that, segment G is 0 and remaining all segments are 1, 1. So in this way we have to write down for decimal value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. For 8 all the segments are on, so because of that all segments are 1. So if display 1, so only segment B and C is on, so segment B and C is on, remaining all are off. In this way everyone can know that, because it is again second year digital electronics, so everyone can know that how to write down the truth table for digital system. So rest of the combinations other than 0 to 9, that is started from all 0 to 1001, 0 to 9. Remaining all rest of the combinations are don't care conditions. And for that, from this truth table we are going to find out the K map and all the logical equations for segment A to segment G. So according to the logical equations we are designing the logic circuit for this particular 4 line to 7 line display decoder. So here is the circuitry is there according to the logical equations. So that circuitry we have designed. Everyone can know that. We no need to discuss with that particular circuitry. Only the according to the equation the circuit can be designed. Now here the main part of our subject is that the VHDL program. So here first we discuss with the structural behavioral description. So here first we are whatever the component inside into this particular diagram, that all components first initially we are going to define it by using entity. Means IOs we have to define entity. My XNOR 2 is port I1, I2 in bit, then semicolon, then O out bit, then bracket complete semicolon, and my XNOR 2. Here for XNOR gate we have written down the entity. 2 input I1, I2 and O is the output. Same way for that we have written down the architecture. Data flow of my XNOR 2 is begin O less than or equal to not I1 XOR I2. Here O is less than or equal to not I1 XOR I2. Whatever the function is there, that function is already we have defined over here. And data flow. Here data flow and data flow. Then entity my XOR 2. Then another gate. First we have completed XNOR, now we have written down for entity for XOR gate. Entity my XOR 2 is port I1, I2 in bit, O out bit, and my XOR 2. Again architecture defining. Architecture data flow of my XOR 2 is begin O is less than or equal to I1 XOR I2 and data flow. Then for AND gate we have written down the entity. Entity my AND 2 is port I1, I2 in bit, O out bit, and my AND 2. Then architecture data flow of my AND 2 is begin O less than or equal to I1 and I2 semicolon and data flow. In this way all the gates we are defining over here. Then again AND 3 is there, OR 2 is there, then OR 3 is there, and their architecture directly the functions. O is less than or equal to I1 or I2. O is less than or equal to I1 and I2 and I3. If 3 input is there, so we are declaring 3 input are there. Then again for OR4 and last inverter, there are having inverter gate is there. Entity inverter is port I in bit, O out bit, single input single output, and inverter. Architecture data flow of inverter is begin O is less than or equal to not of I, and data flow. In this way we are declaring all the entities. Now we are moving towards the program, main program, library IEEE semicolon. Here we are see the structural behavioral description. Basically here is the structural behavioral description. So first we are defining library IEEE, use IEEE.standard_logic_1164.all. This should be the used clause. Then entity BCD is port I0, I1, I2, I3 in bit, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are the output. 4 input and 7 outputs for 7 segment discrete decoder. Then end BCD. These are the entity here we are declared. Then architecture we are declaring. Architecture structural of BCD is, then component inverter port I in bit, O out bit, then end component. Here inverter component we are declared. Then second component my AND 2 we are declaring port I1, I2 in bit semicolon, then O out bit bracket complete semicolon, then end component. Then third component my AND 3 similarly port I1, I2, I3 in bit, O out bit, end component. Then OR gate. Then again whatever may be the number of OR gates, that all OR gates here we are defining. Then XNOR gate and then XOR gate. Here all the components initially we are declaring in architecture. Then we are declaring the signals, whatever the signal internal signal, that is J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. These are all the signals we are defining, and it is bit type of value. Here in the diagram you have to look out that internal, these all the signals we are going to define over there. So these all signals we are going to consider in case of signal. So here all signal we are declaring initially, it is a bit type of information, and semicolon, ended with semicolon, then begin. Then here main code is there. So here first for first component we are declaring U1 is the first component, U1 colon inverting port map I2 comma J is the first signal. Then U2 inverting port map I1 comma K second. component. Then U3 inverting port map I0, comma L bracket complete semicolon. In this way another component U4 colon my X0 to port map I2, I0 and Z. These are the three signals, means two are their input and one more is their output. So these are all the signals whatever for that particular gate in the circuit in the logical diagram, that all the signals we are defining in case of port mapping. So here U1 to U23 means all the 23 gates. Here we are defining all the port mapping. Then end structural. If you look out it carefully, so all the names we have taken care into the consideration for the structural modeling. Now we are moving towards the next modeling, that is data flow VHDL description. Library IEEE, use IEEE dot standard underscore logic underscore 1164 dot all. Entity BCD is port. Then opening bracket I in standard underscore logic underscore vector 3 down to 0. Segments out standard underscore logic underscore vector 1 to 7. Here 4 lines I0, I1, I2, I3. Here 7 lines A to G. End BCD. Then architectural data flow of BCD is begin segment 1 is equal to, is less than or equal to I3 or I1 or not I2 XOR I0. Segment A, whatever the logical equations we have already find out by using K-map, same equations here we are assigning for each segment. So segment 1 is assigned for A, then segment 2 is assigned for B, segment 3 is assigned for C. Likewise A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the equations we have maintained over here. In case of architectural data flow, whatever they are ANDing, ORing, NOT, XORing functions inside into that all functions we are going to write down for their segments. So segment 7 is less than or equal to I3 or with I2 XOR with I1 or I1 and not I0. Then segment G is coming over there. So end data flow modeling. In this way we are going to study with the data flow VHDL description. Then last, behavioral VHDL descriptions. In the behavioral VHDL descriptions, again library IEEE, use IEEE dot standard underscore logic underscore 1164 dot all. Entity BCD is port I in standard underscore logic underscore vector 3 down to 0 and segment out standard underscore logic underscore vector 6 down to 0. So I0 to I3 is there and A to G is there. End BCD. Architecture behavioral of BCD is begin with I select. Segments is less than or equal to whatever the truth table, according to that here we are defining that particular segments. If all bits are 1 1, only G is 0. When if my display is 0 value, so all bits are 0, then my output should be likewise 1 1 1 1 1 1 0. If my input when 0 0 0 1, so my segment should be like that 0 1 1 0 0 0. So likewise when we have to display the 8, when 1 0 0, all bits are 1 1 1. In this way we are going to simply describe in case of behavioral modeling and end with behavioral. So in this way these are the three types of modeling and how they are right. Now here we have seen the output for the VHDL program. This is the simulated output I0 to I3. These are the 4 bit of informations. So 0, 1, 2, 3, we are doing the adjustment in such a way that all the values in a sequential manner 0 to 9. So if 0 is there, so output should be displayed, that is 0 value. So except G, all pins are 1 1. Except 0, all pins are 1. Only segment 0 is 0. Then similar way, if we have to display the 8, all pins are 1. So all segments are 1. In this way, we have verified all the outputs. 0 display, 1 display, 2 display, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anything you have to verify, all are exactly equal to the truth table. Here, in university examination, the question should be asked related to that topic is that Explain different architectural modeling types in VHDL. Explain different architectural modeling types in VHDL. Give brief example of each. Means they have asked explain two different architectural modeling, or explain either all the architectural modeling types in VHDL. Give example for each. So you have to write down such type of example and explain each type of modeling. Thank you for the day. The next topic, today onwards we have to start with the data objects.